Uh-oh, I just turned the car off. Fans are still running on high. We'll have to figure out what that is. If you can hear me over this, yeah, everything's cold. Fans are running on high. I did notice when I was coming back that the temperature gauge was not reading any temperature. Well, it's not the gauge's fault. Looks like the coolant temp sensor has gone bad. That little guy right here. So we'll get to cracking, get this thing apart, and see if that resolves our issue. All right, now that the battery's disconnected, you can hear me. So whenever the fans don't turn off after you shut the car off, they stay on high, the engine's trying to get cooled down. So the computer thinks that the vehicle is possibly too hot because it can't read an accurate coolant temperature sensor reading. So the fans will stay on for 5, I think it's 5, might be 10. 10 is usually the GM go-to on everything after key off. But I believe it's 5 minutes the fans will run after the car shut off to cool everything down, just to prevent any damage or overheating. So don't panic, not a big deal. They'll shut off, they won't drain your battery. It'll be just fine. So now that I got the negative battery terminal, because anytime you deal with anything electronic, you want to disconnect the battery, so that way there's no charge going through there. I always just pull a negative, just easier for me. And we'll get going on getting this removed. So there's a little bit of wiring in the way. We got to unclip that, and it's a 3/4 socket, so as long as you got a deep well that can get over it, you should be able to reach it just fine. And I already bought the new part from the auto parts store. Ooh, whopping $25. So the standard brand here, this is what they had in stock. The guy at the counter, he said, yeah, we sell a few of these every week. And so far, these standard ones, they haven't had anybody come back and return because they didn't work when they plugged them in. So I'll go with that. It's got a warranty for a year. You know, $25 here and there, not a big deal. You know, spend more than that on gas. So, all right, well, hang tight. I'll get this part and see if that fixes it. All right, the new one's in place. Got the old one out of there, so this one's pretty gunky. And it died. It's old. What happens when it's a 170,000 mile engine? So I did notice getting that plug off the old electrical connection, just pull that gray trim piece all the way out of there, and that'll make it easier for pushing in the release button up here. So once you get that plastic clip out of there completely, then you can actually fully press that in to release it. So with that being said, coolant does come out of there a little bit. Didn't lose a whole lot, but keep an eye on the coolant level after you fire this up and make sure everything's a full temp, and then look at your reservoir, make sure it's within reason. Try not to get any coolant on any of the belts, they'll squeak. I did pull this Christmas tree pin out just to give myself a little more access to it, but it's pretty doable. Just a couple minutes, a 3/4 inch deep well socket, or even if you have an open-ended wrench, that's a 3/4 inch box wrench, that would be more than enough to get you through there. So there's still a little bit of pressure in the system. It did kind of squirt all the way up to there, but yeah, those things happen. All right, well, I'll get this plugged back in and fired up, make sure that resolved our issue. All right, so coolant temperature is not flatlined, it's slightly above the 160. Looks like we have accurate reading now. Let's shut it off and see what happens with the fans. All right, vehicle's off. Headlights haven't shut off yet. Cooling fans are no longer running. So instead of worrying and taking it to the dealer, you got a 3/4 inch socket. You can disconnect the battery and have a flathead screwdriver or a 3/4 inch box wrench. Let's go spend the $30. Get it done yourself. So mine was 26 and change. Other parts stores might be cheaper, other parts stores might be more expensive, but there you go, coolant temp sensor, not a big deal. So hopefully that helps. If you got any questions, just let me know.